Ross Bolen Podcast.
You better listen.
Welcome back to the Ross Bolen Podcast, otherwise known as RBP, presented by Bolen Media. I am your host, Ross Bolen, back again with your co-host, Chris Coulson. Christopher, you're wearing like a jumpsuit.
We're back. I am. I wanted to look a little vintage, feeling soft as hell. This is by far the softest I've ever felt in the studio.
Is a vintage jumpsuit.
It is.
For real.
It is. I found this in my great uncle's closet after he unfortunately passed like 10 years ago.
You're wearing a dead man's velour jumpsuit.
Yeah, I don't think he actually ever wore it though because it still has the tags on it, which I'm afraid to like clip. I don't know. Do I clip this? Like, it's one of those tags.
Listen, I'll tell you right now, Chris.
Yep.
This routinely comes up for me.
Okay.
This tag thing, it's something weird about it, especially with vintage items. You want to leave the tag, right?
Yep.
You take the tag off.
Yeah, I think so.
Because it's just this is a thing that'll haunt you forever.
Yeah.
You'll always have the question, does it come off? Does it go on? One time I saw a gentleman dressed in a vintage outfit at a costume party. He was about 45 years old.
Sure.
I was roughly 20.
Wee man.
I was in college. He was our alumni advisor, as it were, for our fraternity. And he showed up, and he had tags on his outfit. And one of the dudes around my age walked by and ripped the tag off. And that gentleman backhanded that child across the face.
Did he?
Yeah, so
That's
you take that tag
incredible.
off now
Okay.
before it leads to you having to hit a child.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't looking to hit it.
Anyway, go ahead.
Anytime soon. Remember the era of life back in like the mid-2000s?
The
where
era.
Guys would wear hats with the tags on them?
Yep. This was a big problem in Houston, in H-Town, with flat bills.
Rap culture, specifically?
Hip-hop culture demanded at a point that you wear you leave your tags, your NBA shiny sticker on your hat, shit like that. I don't know what we were doing there.
There's a Key and Peele skit about it, actually, in which they start racking up different hats with, like, bags on them, and then they're, like, hats in the boxes that they wear on top of their heads with the box on. It's quite an incredible skit. One of my favorite Key and Peele's.
Key and Peele didn't get enough credit for
No, it really
dudes
didn't.
my age especially, though. Like, it really did. I know that's a big joke, but Chappelle joked about it even. Like, watching all these other people do his show is painful. But Key and Peele, they had some fucking sketches that really, really stuck and that were truly hilarious, but none as funny as your outfit.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I've been compared by, if you've seen Despicable Me 2.
Yes, I
I
have.
kind of look like the guy, the skinny guy with like, he's got a little bit of a
Yeah.
butt on him that tries to, I think he tries to like blow up the moon and
Oh
Gru
my
saves him.
God, yeah.
That's what I've been compared to on Twitter so far today, which I do see that for sure.
You said you
100%.
need a gold chain, and I agree. I think it's
Yeah.
the finishing touch here. And then this is like an outfit that Adam Sandler would wear in Uncut Gems or something.
Or I could wear it to on the next episode of the Sopranos Breakdown Pod.
Absolutely fits
I was
into the
gonna actually
Sopranos family
offer-
costume wardrobe.
I was gonna offer this jumpsuit to you in case you wanted to, roll in looking like Big Paul or something like that.
Look, man, I'm not going to say no to that. I'd like to show up to the next pod looking like Big Pussy Bumpin' Sarah. It's not something that I'm against.
Yeah, I think you could pull it off for sure.
Anyway.
It's a little big on me, so.
Hope y'all all had a very Merry Christmas, a Happy Holidays, and are excited for the new year. Chris and I got to go home over the weekend and the week last week for Christmas. First time for me in 2020 that I got to go home. You rolled back early last week, obviously spent a few days in the old North Carolina.
I did.
So to start today's show with our Monday mental health message, I wanted to speak to the importance of resetting with a change of scenery or pace or people, because holy shit, this weekend did wonders for my mental health. Getting out of Austin, where I've spent 99.9% of 2020, was amazing. And there are a lot of reasons for why I've been here, right? Like, we all are aware of the international pandemic that has taken place throughout the course of this year, really limiting the amount of things we can do and where we can go, and traveling and vacations. Those things were all kind of put on hold for most of us, as well as just the general safety of our family members and friends. We didn't want to be spreading it around, a lot of us, so we didn't move around much. I wasn't driving. My panic disorder got me to a place where I was no longer feeling comfortable behind the wheel, so I was having to get rides or ride share everywhere, which then during the COVID period, ride sharing became a very skeptical activity. So there was a lot of things at play, but I didn't get to go home. My parents were having to come up here and visit me, and that only got to happen a couple times. And I obviously went through a divorce at the beginning of the year, not to keep harping on that, but it was something that kind of isolated me within my house. And
Well, I mean, a divorce, that's kind of a big life change.
yeah,
I would
it's
say.
a slightly impactful life change.
I would say you're forgiven for talking about it.
I know, but I feel like, basically, let me put it this way. I've moved on with my life.
Sure.
So when I bring it up, it makes me feel like I'm still giving it power, and I don't like
And
that.
it
So
feels
it's
like
really
you're
about me.
Sure.
Yeah,
I
I
completely get where you're
understand that
coming
most
from
of
there.
y'all aren't like judging me for it or whatever, but anyway, it's just something that I don't
In your own head,
necessarily
you're
like
"Come
bringing
on."
up.
Come on,
I'm
dude.
like, oh, we're done with
We're
this.
done.
But
Let's move.
it's not how it works.
Sure.
And yeah, you know what I'm saying though. So anyway, a lot of things kept me at home, and just being out of my house was great. You know, it always is. Like when we get to come to the studio, it's refreshing. When we go eat out somewhere, very rarely, it's refreshing. But man, disconnecting, like leaving the city and getting to disconnect from everything that bogs me down, and the stuff that gets you stuck on a day to day, it was enormous for me. And just putting as much distance as possible between Chris and I a few times a year is going to be necessary. I'm thinking of flying him to NYC for New Year's Eve to watch the ball drop, and I'll go to Vegas, and that'll be as far apart as we can get.
Wow, it's only been 1 week. But,
I'm just kidding, Chris.
Jesus,
It is.
You need to ship me away already.
It's great to have you back. I missed you very
It's
much.
good to be back.
Chris got me a wallet for Christmas, a really, really nice, like a man wallet.
I did.
I had been using a little boy wallet for far too long, man.
It's time to grow up.
People know this, but I like what I like, and I don't particularly care if it makes me look like a child. So sometimes the people around me in my life that I'm closest to have to give me guidance, and Chris and his mom were like, hey, that's a wallet for a fucking child, you child. Here's a man wallet for a man. Grow up, Peter Pan. And it feels good, man. I put all my cards in it last night, and I chose to not put in some dumb shit, like my casino card from when I went to Lake Charles for my bachelor party. Like that doesn't need to be in there. I haven't gone back.
Chuck E. Cheese, machine swiper.
My Dave & Buster's membership, I took that out as well. My expired Austin Library card, I took that out as well. I have no intention of going to the library perhaps ever again if I don't have to.
Your expired Shipley's Donut of the Year Donut Member Club.
No, that'll never leave, Chris.
Okay.
That stays.
That's
stays
a gift
forever.
that keeps on giving.
But it feels good to have a man wallet and have it be organized. Anyway, back to Christmas. Seeing my dad and my mom and my brother's girlfriend, and getting to spend time with them and my girlfriend and her daughter, man, that's the best stuff in all of life. And it was mostly denied to us this year. Just even I was talking to my grandma on the phone, and I miss her so much, obviously. She's one of my favorite people in the world. I love her to death. And she was just like, I can't wait for us all to be able to get together and physically spend time together again. My dad and my mom were able to go visit her, and it was funny. Like they sent me a picture, like my mom with my grandma, and my mom's wearing a mask, and I was just like, oh, just like the cap on 2020 is ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's just absolutely
and it just
crazy.
keeps getting higher and higher too.
It does, but I feel like we're turning the page. You know, I mean, obviously there's a lot of personal weight behind that. Like, because I've really this last few months I've felt the positive momentum, not just in my life, but like societally. I feel like we got through the election, we've got the vaccines out, we've gotten through Christmas. Everybody knows it's going to be a dark winter. That this COVID crap is something that's not going to get better in the next couple months. It's going to get worse. New Year's Eve isn't going to help, but I feel like we all know where we're at.
Yeah.
You know, if nothing else, this year has really given us this is where you're at. This is what you've got going on. Nobody can really lie to themselves anymore right now. There's not enough distractions to keep you in denial about what you've got going.
Your life circumstances. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
so-
kind of had to come to terms with exactly what's been going on.
And that's been tough
what
for
you're
a lot
doing.
of us.
Oh,
For a lot of
absolutely.
people, man, to take a look at your own life under the microscope in a year that forces you to do so, and to reckon with what you've got going can be terrifying. And I think a lot of us, we hit that point somewhere around mid-year where it was like, oh God.
Yeah, we had to take a look at ourselves and make that change.
We're pulling out Michael Jackson. We're pulling out, though.
Can we still quote Michael Jackson?
I
think we brought that
don't
up.
know. It keeps
Let's
happening.
just
I
move
sang
on
Man in the
before-
Mirror I think last week.
Let's keep moving before we get too deep.
Yeah,
on
we're
that.
doing it, though. We're doing it. We're moving. We're all keeping moving. That's the point.
We're moving and grooving,
Yeah.
always. Yeah, and being home for me especially after this long of a year and with so much change going on. and
Starting your
everything like
first
that.
job, 6 months into the grind
Yeah,
type of situation for sure, man.
Absolutely. This time specifically was the first time that when I was home, I was really I can't wait to get back and get back on the grind, because I'm fully starting to really feel settled in Austin, and starting to really find what works for me and how I can be most productive in my job here. And getting back home, there were times where I was almost I want to get back and get all in back in it, because when I'm home I love
Dude,
I love my parents to
It
death.
gets you excited about what you've got going on in your personal life. though.
Exactly, absolutely. And when I'm home, I love my parents to death, but I mean, I'm still their baby boy, so there's times that I still kind of feel like their baby boy when I'm at home.
When you're in that part of life where it's there's that conflict, right? Because look, we all love going home, no matter how old you get. You love
Yeah.
going home to your parents for a lot of reasons. There's comfort. there. There's food.
Safety.
They make you good food.
Yeah.
Your parents take care of you. And that's a weird feeling when you're becoming independent and an adult and at 21 years old, exactly where you are in life and starting your own job and building your own life. And you're sort of, it's that period where, it's not a separation from your parents, but it's certainly you create your own lane.
Yeah,
this is
absolutely.
the point in life where you create your own lane. So when you swerve back into their lane momentarily, it feels strange, and you're like, I don't know, get back to my lane as quickly as possible. Or also, the thing I noticed a lot when I was your age is that when I was first starting out my career and I'd get to go home for Christmas or whatever it was, it would get me excited. Like nothing motivates me more than my family.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So being around my mom, my dad, the people that gave me the things that I have, put me in the position I'm in to do what I'm doing with my life, it means a lot to me. And
Absolutely.
it makes me want to get back to it. Like, it's weird.
Yeah,
it's refreshing.
and continue to make them more proud and be like, hey, this is what we're doing. This is what we're working on. This is how we're growing. This is how we're impacting people, et cetera, et cetera. And also, for me, when I'm home, you can probably relate this too back earlier on in your career, just to use your analogy of two different lanes and kind of getting used to each other's lanes when you're back at home.
Right.
Growing up, I always wanted to go business major, work my way up the corporate ladder, that type of thing. That's what my mom did. She's a very successful businesswoman. And so our lanes when we were younger, she thought they were going to be very, very similar. Well,
Sure.
now, obviously, they're very different to what I do versus what both of my parents have done in their lives. So a lot of the time at home is kind of spent showing them what it's like to live in my lane.
Look, my lane is okay.
Yeah, it's okay. This is what I'm doing. This is how it helps me, because they're so polar opposites.
Yeah.
It's showing them that yes, we're living very different lives, but I think there's things that I do in my lifestyle that they can take away to put into their lifestyle to live healthier and happier lives as well. And so it's, I've had more and more conversations with my parents and my mom about politics and mental health and stuff like that on a deeper level now.
That's
because
a huge
of
win.
things, yeah, because I'm more comfortable if I can talk about it into a microphone for 30,000 people a week or so, then I definitely should be able to talk about it to my own parents. And so I've been having those deeper conversations with them and talking to them about the things that I go through in a productive way, not just let me go through this, I got this type of way.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's kind of weird. One of the side effects, I guess, or weird side perks of Chris and I's profession is that when your parents are very supportive, as ours are, we're very fortunate, and they listen to your show, they get to know you a lot better when you're not around even.
Absolutely.
So,
that's a
funny
weird thing, too.
With my mom, man, I'll go home and the catching up you would normally have to do, well, she already knows most of the catch up because, right, first of all, we stay in touch, but she listens to the show every time it drops within a half hour or whatever. And then she knows everything I've got going on. And, for the most part, that's a lot of what the show is. What we share our lives and our mental health struggles and talk about what's current in the world and fun, cool stuff that we enjoy. And that's it. So there's that element of it too, where I'll tell you this, over time, that really turns into something special because you get to, like you said, talk about all kinds of things with your parents that you normally would never, ever discuss. And rather than having to give your parents an opinion that may be abrasive to them if you did it right to their face, it gives them the opportunity to hear an opinion that you have that's very different than something they believe, and then reflect upon it to where then when you talk about it in person, you've had this time and space to where there's no animosity.
And it doesn't feel like you're attacking them with that
Exactly.
opinion. Because
Yes.
sometimes when your opinions are so polar opposite to what somebody else thinks,
it can make your parents feel
on the defensive right off the bat.
You
And
know,
it's not-
that's a very instinctive parental thing.
Yeah.
You want your kid to take the path you did. You want your children, and like you were
Well,
speaking
for
to, you
them-
kind of have this concept in your head that you have this vision for your child.
yeah, and for them
When it
it's
goes differently, then you have to give them the opportunity to show you.
Because
what it's
for
about.
my parents specifically, I know that they know that I could do anything that I want to do. I have many possibilities, many options, et cetera, et cetera.
Except
But-
piano, you can't play piano for shit.
Except playing piano
Yeah.
or the saxophone, both of which I would
Can't
like to
play
learn.
sax either.
Sexy instruments.
Yeah.
But for them, they know that if I take the path that they chose, it'll be a safe path. Do you get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I can go a different way. They know that. But they for them, it was very difficult because they knew that if I did XYZ, I would end up here and be successful. For me, I thought that I could do ABC and end up in a similar spot, but defining success
And
in
sex.
different ways, shapes, forms, definitions, et cetera, based on perspective.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing you find throughout the course of your life, even into adulthood, is what is success for me?
Yes.
And how does it differ for what my parents define success as? And again, there can be that initially in your 20s especially. There's this weird conflict there because your definition might not line up with theirs. But inevitably, what you prove to your parents, if you do things correctly, is that you've got this.
Yeah.
And then it becomes a whole nother level of pride for your parents because it's, oh, wow, he didn't even need that lane.
Yeah.
Like, look at that, he made his own.
And that wraps back to what you were saying earlier about when you're home, it gives you that opportunity to where you're like, I want to get back on the grind because I want to show them, like, I can blaze this path on myself. Well, and growing up where I grew up, a lot of people that I grew up with, they come out of college with a job ready to go from dad, uncle,
Mom,
granddad,
connection,
mom,
whoever,
friend,
family, friend, yeah.
ready to go with like $60,000 to $80,000 salary, full benefits, ready to rock and roll off of a 4-year degree. Didn't even have to take an interview.
I knew dudes that got $45,000 jobs out of school that I was like, what?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And so for me, I kind of got to the realization where I was like, I really want to see if I can do this on my own. And obviously, I still have lots of help and support from my parents.
Of course.
I'm definitely not doing this, quote unquote, fully on my own.
Right.
But to me, I feel I'm blazing a path that's different to what they would have expected out of me. Yet, every time I come home, I can tell they're prouder and prouder of what I'm doing because they can see the impact that I'm making on other people. And that's something that, like, genuinely is unbeatable.
And we talked about it last week some. I mean, this is exactly why I love Christmas. And it doesn't even have to be what we're speaking to, the level where it's like with your parents. It's like even just getting texts from aunts and uncles and friends and people I didn't get to see. It's just touching base with everyone,
it's
connecting
a time of
with
reflection.
everyone.
It's not even with like I reached out to certain people over the holidays just based on like they would post a story that I connected to, something like that.
Yeah.
Just to reach out when I haven't talked to them forever, saying, "Hey man, I appreciate what you're doing. Like, hope you're doing well. Merry Christmas to you and the family."
Yes.
And just stuff like that where it's just like even people that I haven't talked to in a while, but I have that mutual respect for kind of thing.
Sure.
Where you're continuing to keep up with the growth of the people around you that got you to where you are today.
You know, it's funny. I always make fun of Christmas cards, all right?
Yeah.
Oh, we all do. Most of us do. Even when you make them, you're just like, this is so fucking stupid. Bruh, this is exactly why Christmas cards exist.
It is.
And it's funny. I've gotten probably 4 or 5, and I appreciate people who sent me Christmas cards this year. Y'all are fucking awesome. Thanks for thinking of me. I put them up on my fridge, man, and like the first one I put up was from my boy Dylan, I used to work with, Mr. Chivalry.
I've seen the card, very cute card. Let me just say,
I love his kid, man. He's beautiful. Just a good-looking family. Let me just put it that way. Good-looking family. The Chivalry. And that was the first one, and I put it up there. It was kind of awkward. It's just like one grown man,
his child.
It looks like again a Native American cigar Indian, and I know that's offensive. I don't know what else to call that thing. A Native American cigar statue.
I know what you're talking.
Frankly,
exactly
those are probably out. I'm pretty positive there's somebody going cigar shop to cigar shop at the end of 2020. Like, look, man, that's got to go. We're done.
More.
We're leaving those in 2020. It's been a hell of a year. You take that shit out back. You fucking. I don't even know how. And that's the other thing. How do you dispose of your offensive Native American statue cigar guy?
I would love to think that there's just like a warehouse of like 10,000 Native American.
What do you chop it up and light it on fire? That's offensive. Like, how do you dispose of the offensive object that you're already offending? Anyway, I got the Christmas card from Dylan, and then I got a couple more, and it started to grow. And then now I was looking at my fridge last night because I got another one late. Somebody remembered me like after the fact because this shit came in after Christmas, or the mail system's messed up. I don't know. It doesn't matter. The point is, it hit me suddenly as I was looking at my fridge. I was like, oh shit. The very thing Chris and I have been talking about that we're going to talk about again, that we just talked about, that we talked about last week, this is it.
Yeah.
It works. Christmas cards are effective, and they give you that connection. They show you the people and their families and how much growth they've had since the last time, and they have a nice message. And it's most effective, like, obviously not for the people you're very close to and talk to all the time, and you see them, but those fringe people, dude, the ones you were saying, like, I'd see a story and just and hit somebody like, hey, I hope you're doing well and had a good year. It's that staying in touch. I remember you're alive. I know you're out there. Here's what me and my people look like. I'm stoked to know you.
And it's not for me.
It feels good.
It's a weird relationship with the people that, like, those types of people, because they're the ones that I wasn't necessarily friends with like we
Sure.
were never super tight
Yeah.
at one point or another. But
your
every time
acquaintances
we
and
had a conversation or an interaction on any level, I always either took something out of it, gave something to them to take out of it. There was always a type of like, I respect you and know who you are as a person, and you feel the same about me. Let's make each other better when we see each
I'm
other.
gonna tell you something weird.
Hit me.
Those people
Yeah.
may become some of your closest friends.
And see, that's
Not
the thing.
now necessarily,
But later.
but those people, the ones that you just hit, and I know exactly what you're talking about. It's this type of person where you haven't spent much time with them necessarily,
Yeah.
but you have a mutual respect, and you're like, we understand each other.
Yes.
So you just talk every once in a while, and you see how shit goes, and you glean things from gleam, whatever.
I
You
think
take
it's
things
gleam,
away from
yeah.
them, they take things from you, and it's like those are the people that down the line you have like a monthly phone call with when
Yeah.
you're 35.
Yeah.
Like, those are the dudes that I get meetings set with because they end up being the people that are closest. Like, honestly, and most valuable friendships you'll have is the people that you get things from and they get things from you. But there's a weird development period for like several years where you're kind of feeling each other out and you're letting each other build too. That's the other thing. You're like, I know this dude or this girl is going to do stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay in touch with them so that when I'm doing stuff, because I know I'm going to do stuff, that we can do stuff together.
That's
sort of the way it is. And
That's
it's like,
nail on the head right
it's a
there.
good way to build, though. Let's move into announcements and shouts
do
before we go too long here. But anyway, Merry Christmas, everybody. I've been driving the Tesla Model 3 for a couple weeks now, or at least a week, and I am slowly becoming a fanboy. It is a problem, and I am sorry, but you're all living in the past, and I'm driving in the future. I got a tiny model version of the car for Christmas. I'm holding it up if you're watching on youtube.com/Bolen Media, where you can watch every episode of the Ross Bolen Podcast on youtube.com/Bolen Media. I'm holding it up right now. That it acts as a key. I got this simply so that I can throw it in the pot during a poker game at some point in life, like James Bond in Casino Royale. But this is the dumbest fucking... If you click the front twice, it opens the frunk.
Did you just open the frunk?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I hope not. I may have. Mike, check out the window. The back trunk opens it locks itself. It opens the charging port. Anyway, at some point, if you're playing poker against me and if I throw this in the pot, just please tell me to take it back and stop being a stoned idiot. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Playboy Cardi dropped a new album. Highly anticipated. Whole lot of red. Okay? This is not a guy that I'm a big fan of, but he's one of the most famous rappers in the world right now. All right? What the hell happened here? Coles and I listened to the first, 8 tracks on the way to the studio today just to be trying to stay in touch with the kids is what I'm doing.
Just check in
Chris
on it.
just being exposed to me trying to stay in touch with the kids. This is one of the worst pieces of music, if you can call it that I have ever heard. I was joking with Chris. I was like, bro, this is like if somebody sent you and I a bunch of beats and we just got stupid messed up on drugs and alcohol, went into the studio and just yelled dumb shit. There are multiple songs that are shorter than the freestyle I did on RBP 300 or whatever that was.
He's not joking there. There's multiple songs that are literally a minute 30 seconds long that probably say in total 15 words
over and over
repeated
and
in
over,
different phrases,
and then rotated,
and then ad libs, and that's literally it. It's horrible. I don't know how it got released like this, and it was pushed back so many times.
Well, now we know why it's
So
been pushed back so many times.
I guess so. Somebody, and the thing is too, there's how many tracks are there?
We got to
26
song
tracks?
7, and we were both about to vomit, and we scrolled down on the Tesla screen,
and
I'm
it
gonna
just
be
kept
specific here.
scrolling,
And we were like,
scrolling.
no! 24 songs. Anytime there's a letter I guess, no, that's not even true. He just puts the letter or the number 3 into as many of the words as he can on the album, but then at some point he stops and he lets ease be ease again. The album cover art is awful. The 8 songs Chris and I have listened to are awful. The fact that I felt the hype enough to force myself to feel like I needed to connect with the children and listen to this, sad. Entire situation, very unfair.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen an album just universally ripped apart on social
Twitter
media.
is very, very unhappy.
Twitter and Instagram, everything. Yeah, nobody's happy.
Our boy
on
Mario
release
Judah,
date.
very unhappy.
Yeah.
Very, very unhappy.
I mean, you can't let down the Judah,
No, you cannot let him down. You cannot. He will come for you,
and you will die.
and you will die very rough.
Yeah, verbally. He can just
Very,
kill you
very
with his
rough.
voice. I feel like he could kill you with his eyes. That's why he keeps the hood on in that interview with Drewski,
He's
just in
terrifying.
case.
He's terrifying.
A little
If you want an ad-free episode of this podcast every Friday, a third ad-free episode of the Ross Bolen Podcast each and every week. We drop Monday and Wednesday episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube.com/Bolen Media. But we do an ad-free episode every Friday, exclusively in one place. It's called Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/Ross Bolen Podcast, join one of our tiers, support the show in exchange for a minimum financial, what is it called?
Obligation?
Donation? That's not the word.
Condition?
Pledge. Aha!
Oh.
Minimum pledge of $5 per month. You can join the RBP gang officially and get access to our ad-free exclusive episodes every Friday on patreon.com/Ross Bolen Podcast. We owe y'all one from this week, and you're getting it. Trust on that. It's time. First segment. Well, I guess second segment. Second segment. Hang up the phone and dial 911. So TikTok is obviously one of the most massive social media platforms in the world, one of the most accessible in terms of content creation. It has 850 million users. It breeds a lot of really creative, really funny stuff, obviously a lot of trash as well, mostly trash, but a lot of really creative, really funny stuff. And there are massive subsects of this platform that form and grow, and Chris stumbled across a ridiculous one that takes and it animates trash 911 calls. And oh my God, people are idiots. Chris, tell me about what you found here.
Yeah, so I found a Twitter thread this morning.
Okay.
Which I don't go on TikTok that often.
I love the way that the best of TikTok ends up bleeding into Instagram and Twitter, so we don't have to.
Yeah, exactly. If you go on TikTok, you're gonna find mostly trash and then like one or two good videos.
There's too many
per,
12-year-old
like,
girls
15.
dancing. I can't go in there.
Don't
It's
need
dangerous. It's scary. It's fucking weird. I'm just watching the best stuff when it comes out on Twitter and Instagram.
So I found this thread this morning that was retweeted from a guy I follow. And it's just like Ross was saying, somebody took trash 911 calls of people, mostly like Karens, calling about like ridiculous shit that's going on in their life.
A lot of Karens.
That actually has nothing to do with any sort of reason to call 911. And they animated it to have both the operator and the caller in the video on TikTok. And they're fucking hilarious. So we wrote down the scripts for 5 of them. And Ross and I are going to do a little role play and read them back and forth for you guys so you can get a taste of what's going on TikTok. Then later on today, I'll throw up a couple of those TikToks on the RBP Instagram. We'll see what happens.
So in this first one that we're going to read for y'all, I'm going to be the cop. Okay, I'm going to be the cop, the operator, and Chris is going to be the caller, and then we'll switch.
We'll
How's
switch
that?
off everyone. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah?
And so for ones that are specific to the dialects of the caller and operator, I wrote it at the top. But for this first one, we're just gonna run with it.
Right on. All right, so I'm going to be the operator. Chris is going to be the caller. Here we go. Okay, what is it exactly you want us to do for you?
Send an officer down here. I want them to make it right.
Ma'am, we're not going to go down there and enforce your Western bacon cheeseburger.
Well, what am I supposed to do?
This is between you and the manager. We're not going to go enforce how to make a hamburger. That's not a criminal issue. There's nothing criminal here.
So I just sit here.
You need to calmly and rationally speak to the manager and figure out what to do between you.
She did come up and I said, "Can I have my Western burger?" And she said, "I'm not dealing with this." She walked away because they're mopping the floor. And it's also, they don't want to go there. And
Ma'am, then I suggest you get your money back and go somewhere else. This is not a criminal issue. We cannot go out there and make them make you a cheeseburger the way you want it.
well, you're supposed to be here to protect me.
What are we protecting you from? A wrong cheeseburger? Scene.
You guys have to see the animation.
All right, so this woman went to a McDonald's, I believe.
Yeah.
The McDonald's was clearly poorly run, as most fast food restaurants are. That's part of the experience. Americans who go to fast food to get fast food and then have a problem with it, I'm like, ma'am, this is the cheapest form of sustenance you could possibly put in your body at the fastest possible speed to be cooked, run by mostly lower educated humans.
And underpaid.
And vastly underpaid.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck.
No.
They shouldn't give a fuck.
It's probably like 2 a.m. at this time. Like,
Yeah,
she
what
says
do
they're mopping the floors. I'm imagining it's like closing
Yes.
time, and they're like, "We're not making the fucking Western burger. We have to cook the fucking bacon, get the sauce, the onions. No, you want a cheeseburger? We're not making the Western burger." And she starts throwing a fit. Dude, as soon as you pull under the little, like, it says, like, warning, 7'11" clearance. As soon as you get under that sign, you have waived your right to complain. That's it. It's a contract. You're in there, it's over.
Yeah, they should have a little asterisk at the bottom of each fast food menu that just says, hey, you're already here, shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up, because you're already here. You've already quit. No one
You've
cares.
You've given up already.
You don't even care. Stop pretending. All right, let's do the second call. You be the operator, and I'll be the caller.
911, what's the emergency?
Hi, I'm at the corner of Pleasant Hill and John Young Parkway. I'm in a Walgreens parking lot, and my car will not start. I'm locked inside my car. I cannot open my car. I can't get the windows down. Nothing electrical works, and it's getting very hot in here, and I'm not feeling well. I need some help.
Are you able to pull the lock up on the door and open the door? You should be able to pull the lock up even if it's electrical.
I tried it. Okay, all right. I got that going. Okay.
Are you able to get out of the car now?
Yeah, I got the door open.
Okay.
That's the entire scene. That's the entire call.
Yeah.
The man called the police because he was getting hot in his closed vehicle, and the operator instructed him to open the door. This is why, like, I get it. Like, I get that the police have had a bad year, all right, a bad run. But they're dealing with the stupidest possible human beings on the phone all day, every day. And then, this is the fucked up part. The cops that are out there on the street actually trying to protect us, they have to talk to these operators who are exposed to you idiots all day, every day, and me. And then they're furious. So when they talk to the cops out on the street, they're rude to them. Then everybody's pissed off. It's a disaster. Stop calling the cops because you forgot your car has a door.
Yeah.
All right, let's do another one. These are fucking outrageous.
There needs to be like precursors to like when you call 911, it's like a fucking automated operator that's like, did this, or this occur to you?
See, that's the problem. Then it takes
somebody?
too long to get to the cop.
Yeah, that's a
okay,
good point, I
wait.
guess.
This next one it's the caller is a female with a deep Southern drawl. Can you do a female deep Southern drawl?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, cool. I'll be the operator. You be the caller.
All
right. 911. What's your emergency?
Yeah, I need a police officer over here.
What's going on?
I've got 2 teenage daughters, and I just got home from work. They were physically fighting with each other. One of them kicked a hole in the door, and they're 12 and almost 14, and the 12-year-old's completely out of control. Physically, she's as big as me, and I can't control her.
Okay, did you want us to come over there and shoot her? Are you there?
Excuse me?
That's a joke.
You know what? This really is not very funny.
I know it's not, ma'am. I apologize.
Well, guess what? It's not going to be funny when I go in front of your supervisor and tell him.
I understand.
Well, I guess he can just listen to the tape.
Yes, he can. Scene.
Imagine the operator just had the worst day of his entire life on shift.
Did you want us to come down there and shoot her?
Oh my God. Karen didn't think that one was a possibility.
Unbelievable. All right. Next one. They're both female British people. This is going to be bad. This is
gonna be a great one.
Well. You be the cop and I'll be the caller.
All right, I got you.
What does a British woman sound?
I need the police, please.
I need the police, please.
Okay, what's happening?
There's been a theft from outside my house.
Okay, when did this occur?
Well, I'm not exactly, because I hadn't been out to check in him for about 5 hours. I went out about 5 minutes ago and he's gone, so it could be in the last 5 hours.
Who's gone, sorry?
Me snowman.
Right, so your snowman's been stolen in the last 5 hours?
Well, 4 to 5 hours, I can't be sure exactly.
And what do you mean? The snowman was actually made of snow or an ornament?
No, he was made out of snow. I made him myself. He had 2 of me teaspoons on his arms and money on his face. I'm not being funny. I know it's only a snowman, but at the end of the day, you don't expect someone to nick your snowman. Scene. Hey, lady, it could have melted. And you put money on his face.
Yeah, when I got to the money part, I was like, oh, come on, you're just asking for it at this point. It's a snowman, and it could. What if she left like her fine silver teaspoons?
Yeah,
like you're in England.
This is an idiotic snowman
Everybody
idea.
wants good teaspoons in England. They drink a lot of fucking tea.
Here's my curious question of this particular call.
Hit me.
If you're walking by a snowman and some insane British woman has stuck money all over its face, You take the money, right? You go,
mhm,
okay, well, I'm going to take this money. This woman's an idiot. She deserves to have her money taken. What do they have? Pounds, francs, something over there?
Sure.
You stuff them in your pockets, and then you go, oh, shit. Well, now she's going to come out and realize the money's been stolen from the snowman, and when she calls the cops, they'll be able to come see the snowman, and then they'll believe her, and get the prints off the snowman.
Yep.
So you got to do away with the snowman,
the
obviously.
evidence,
You destroy the
obviously.
entire snowman so
Yeah.
that when she comes out, it's the snowman that's been nicked,
Yes.
as they put it.
Not the money in the teaspoons.
Not the money. All right, Chris, for this last one, it says the male caller sounds very stoned or drunk, which I'm sure you will have no problem with. I'm going to be the operator. You will be the caller. 911, how can we help you, sir?
Yeah, I have a legal question.
Well, it's not a, is this an emergency?
I don't know what that means.
Is it life-threatening or an active crime in progress?
Crime in progress, possibly.
What's going on?
I was just growing some marijuana, and I was wondering what how much trouble you think I could get into for one plant.
You're growing marijuana, and you want to know how much. Depends on how big the plant is.
It's only a seedling?
Well, it's possession.
Okay.
You can get picked up for a roach in the car.
Okay. All right. Thanks for the info. Scene.
I like this one.
Straight and to the point.
Because look, I get what you're thinking, like, oh, well, now they're just going to go to this gentleman's house and arrest him. No, they're not. The operator could probably give a fuck.
Yeah, highly doubt it.
And in this case, like, odds that they get there and the gentleman either doesn't even have a plant or who even knows, he's on acid or something, seeing stuff. They're not going to fuck with this. I kind of like the concept. If you're doing something just mildly illegal,
Yeah.
it's just like mildly illegal.
You're like a little worried about it, maybe?
You want to know exactly how illegal it is or how much you can do before it becomes really illegal. Just call the cops and ask them.
Go straight to the source.
That's how you find out these answers.
In all honesty, I can't believe more people aren't doing this. I often have questions about what I'm doing at the current time and where it falls in the legality of the world that we live in. And if I could just call the cops every time and be like, yo, is this illegal?
Yeah.
Can I do this?
Chris is calling the police. Like, yeah. So I'm in my employer's home. It's this whole HQ situation. Sometimes I sleep here in the guest room. That's also my office. And, it's just been a long day. I was thinking about going in there and smothering my boss with a pillow. What do you guys do for that?
And if I used a furry helmet as opposed to a pillow, does that lessen the charge? Is that like a manslaughter versus first degree
Become a
thing?
sex crime? What does that do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever called 911, Chris?
I don't think I ever have. Maybe for a car accident or something like that. But I don't think I've ever had to call 911 for anything serious.
Do you call 911 when you get in a car accident?
I don't. But one time I think...
or is it 411?
I think one time...
911, I'm not sure.
I think one time I pulled up to a car accident and somebody was hurt and I had to call 911 for them.
I don't call the police.
That was the only time. I try my best not to call
Everybody
the police.
knows
ever.
I stick to the G code. We don't talk to police.
We don't talk to police.
Now, that being said, there are reasons I would call 911.
Sure.
One of them is if someone breaks into my shit. Now,
it's a good reason.
That's regardless and aside from any other, Kevin McAllister Home Alone defense plan I may have in place. I'm still calling the police because somebody's got to come get the bodies.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not picking them up.
Absolutely.
I've done my duty with one dead body. I've touched it. I pumped on its chest. We're done.
And if you call the police before they come in, all your guilt is gone. I mean, they can't say that you killed these guys out of spite or something like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was
now
self-defense.
I'm cleared
you called
up.
the police.
Clearly self-defense. I called
Alibi.
the cops first. Look, they wouldn't stop trying to come for your boy and his things.
Mostly, I feel like if anybody broke into your house, the only thing they're stealing is your beautiful mirror in your living room, or your dogs. Other
If
than
they
that,
touch those dogs, though, it's on.
okay.
Somebody's getting their freaking head chopped off.
I was gonna say, I feel like the only other reason you would call 911 is if something happened to Bruce and Bella. And
That's
you
the
needed
call
them
that
there.
I'm gonna have to make, Chris. Is hi, operator? Yeah, sir. What do you have a crime to report? Yeah, I do. Some jackass broke into my house and tried to steal my dogs, so I cut his head off with a small butter knife. I need y'all to come collect him.
I dismembered him and I buried him across all of Austin. I'm sorry I got a little bit ahead of myself, but he
Look,
came for my dog.
You screwed with my furry friends, and I became quite angry.
I went
Any other
full
reason?
John Wick.
If I get hit by some idiot and they drive off, I'm calling 911. If I see a crime taking place a safe distance from my person, I'm calling 911.
But only
if I'm driving by somebody beating somebody's ass,
Sure.
I'm calling the cops just to make sure that like whatever is going on, I'm talking like a street person type of situation.
Sure.
I'm gonna make sure that whatever's going on there stays between those two drunk and possibly high people.
So, okay, question. When I was at the gas station and I saw two homeless people sword fighting, like Jedi style, but like legit, should I have called 911? Like
No.
one guy was using a metal cane and one guy was using a stick, but I just let them
Absolutely not. You
have
let
at
them
it.
fight it out.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
You let them fight it out. That's a situation.
Because they were like in their own space.
Yeah.
I didn't really know what to do
You
there.
gotta respect that bum fight.
Yeah.
They've got weapons. The cops don't want anything to do with that.
Seemed kind of territorial.
I just remembered I have called the cops before.
Okay.
I called the cops when the yellow cab driver in Austin hit me with his car.
Okay. That's a fair
And
point.
for
to
those
call
of
the
you who don't
cops.
remember that story, I told it on the show back in the first 100 episodes somewhere. I got out of a cab, walked behind the cab to walk towards my apartment, and the man slammed on the gas and like legit hit me with his car and then threw a Yui as fast as he could, like skirt, and drove off. And at that point, I was like, I guess I have to call the cops. Wasn't so much about me as like, yo, this dude could be going around picking up like my fucking grandma later that night or something, and then hitting her with his car. Like, he was a nut. He had on a full suit. I should have been thrown by that. It was a lot of red flags in this particular yellow taxi.
If you're gonna commit crimes,
Yeah.
any sort of identifiable vehicle like a yellow cab or
Best
an
part
Uber,
of this, the dumbass handed me the receipt with his cab number on it before he struck me. The other best part is when I called Yellow Cab to be like, yo, one of your drivers just hit me. They were like, yeah? Take it up with the police. I called
they're
them
like
first.
on hold.
Nah, dead serious. I called them first, and they were like, we don't fuck with that. They're independent contractors. Good luck to you, sir. How are you? How's your hip? And I was like, it hurts a little. And they were like, all right, have a good night. And that was it.
Question for you: if the dude would have stopped and been like, "Yo, my bad,"
Wouldn't have called the cops.
Yeah, see,
Wouldn't have called the cops.
unbelievable.
I wouldn't even
Could've
have
gotten
called
out
Yellow
of
Cab, honestly. It was just the mere fact that he sped off. I was like,
it. Did he
"This
like
gentleman-"
make the awkward eye contact? Like
No.
as he was
No, he was like,
didn't even
"Oh,
notice.
Like, he fucking got out of there, dude. This was inside of a gated apartment complex. Like, he hit the road. It was crazy. Anyway, other reasons I would call 911. If somebody takes a shit on my doorstep, probably.
Yeah.
If I
any
see
any
them.
sort of fecal matter related crime, I'm calling the cops.
Poo-related crimes, I'm also calling the cops.
Yeah, that worries me slightly.
Yeah.
If the squirrels behind your house like started walking bipedally, I would call the cops too. Like if they started walking on two legs, that'd freak me out enough to call the cops.
Hey, the squirrels in my backyard are starting to organize. We're a little freaked out. Could you guys send somebody over?
Well, if they're organizing
to
like
'em.
workers union style like that, I mean,
That's a
I'll
different
give
thing.
that a slide.
You'd
But,
like that.
If they get on their two legs and like start grabbing like acorns and chucking them at Bruce and Bella,
Sure.
like there's problems.
Speaking of squirrels, that takes us to our next segment.
Look at that.
Let's do it!
And now, Ross Bolen's Animal of the Week.
Okay, before we announce our Animal of the Week, we have a special shout-out to the new population of blue whales discovered in the western Indian Ocean. From the Boston Herald, a New England aquarium researcher played a key part on an international team that has discovered what it believes to be a new population of the largest animals on Earth. The blue whale, largest animal on Earth. Largest animal on Earth. Every group of blue whales, Boston Herald again, who can grow to 100 feet long, sings its own unique song. One of the cool things about whales. I actually tried to do a lot of whale singing over the Christmas break. I was back with my family. My dad was not impressed at all. I was trying to do the Dory stuff, like the... But my dad was like, that's not what whales sound like. And I was like, yeah, it is. It was this whole thing. Anyway, they all sing their own song. In a recent paper in the journal Endangered Species Research, that's a journal,
It's my favorite journal.
the scientists described a new song, heard from the Arabian Sea, coast of Oman, and the central and southwest Indian Ocean. Shouts to the new blue whales.
I guarantee you that album's better than the Whole Lot of Red.
Playboy Cardi.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me that we're still discovering new shit in like the rainforest, like tiny bugs and plants that we've never known about or whatever. But to discover a new population of blue whales, the largest mammal on
I was going to
Earth,
say,
that's something.
How do we like forget about a population of 100-foot animals? 100-foot animals.
It's wild shit.
I would love to be next to a blue whale just to see. 100 feet?
Okay, I
Like-
love the ocean, and I
Okay.
love snorkeling. I
Okay.
love scuba diving. I've only been once scuba diving, and it was illegally. It's a story
Fair,
for another
fair.
day that I'm pretty sure I've told. We got to do like a sunken ship. It was tight.
Oh,
Anyway,
that sounds sick.
I love fish. I've done the swimming with like sharks, nurse sharks. I've swum with like an eel. It's fucking wild. I've done all the different like types of coral
Dolphins?
reefs and shit. Never dolphins. Love
Dolphins are
dolphins
sick.
though. Dolphins are badass. Can't wait to swim with those one day.
Had a great time swimming with dolphins.
But to think about the size of one of these, dude, 100-foot long. I mean, it would be one of the more like incredible experiences you could have
I would
swimming next to
completely
one
agree.
of these. But it would
Absolutely.
also probably cause your heart to explode, I feel like.
Yeah, like it's one of those things that
It would change your whole life.
Yeah, the realization of just how tiny we are
Yeah.
and how fragile we are as little people.
Yeah, speaking of hashtag perspective, I'm pretty sure swimming next to a blue whale in the
give you
big
some
blue
hashtag
ocean
perspective
would
right
really
there.
frame things up for you. But anyway, big blue whale news. Now it's time for our animal of the week. The peacock spider. Look him up. You know the drill. Pull him up on Google Images. Look at pictures of him while I speak on them here. These are one of the more beautiful spiders I've ever seen, fam.
I feel like it takes a lot for you to label a spider as beautiful.
If I saw one of these, there's no fucking way I'm killing it. Like, absolutely
yeah,
no
hell
way,
no,
dude. I'm
dude.
taking it outside and putting it on a tree and calling it a day. Like, these things have incredibly dope designs on their asses. They dance. They're awesome. I'm not a spider guy. I hate spiders just like the rest of you. All right? And when I say hate, I mean they make me very uncomfortable. Very, very uncomfortable. And my shit, Chris knows. When we go on my back porch is where like I take my dogs outside. We chill on the back porch. There's 2 chairs. There's a table. It's where usually our smoking setup is. I've got this like, what do you call that, Chris? Gondola. But it's not roofed.
Yeah.
The roof is like...
It's like a gazebo with like a slotted roof.
Yeah, so you can see up through it, and there's slots of wood or whatever, and then the spiders build webs all over this fucking thing. So I'm constantly walking through spiders. It's a goddamn nightmare. Spiders are hell. But these are beautiful spiders, and spiders deserve just as much respect as the other animals, even if I don't like them as much. So
I would argue you could almost describe this spider as being cute. He's got some like big old round eyes.
look up baby peacock spider right now.
Okay.
Right now. Very random, but the little baby peacock spiderlings are very, very cute.
Aw, they are very
They're fuzzy,
cute.
furry little fur balls.
Yeah, they're kind of like translucent. Jeez, these guys
know
are
how-
tiny.
You know how very, very little, dude. They
Very
can be
little.
0.3 inches, about the size of a pencil eraser.
Wow.
And that's what makes me like their design so much, because they're so small, and the design of their little ass is so
Beautiful
intricate.
and
Intricate,
Yeah. It looks like something I would design while tripping acid.
Yeah, like almost all spiders, peacock spiders are venomous. They're
Oh.
not dangerous to humans, though. Their little
Cool.
jaws are so tiny that they cannot even puncture our skin, which is actually
Aw,
wild.
That's even cuter.
Crickets and other spiders, on the other hand, get got constantly
Oh.
by the peacock spiders. They are jumping spiders, so they don't build webs. They stalk their prey like lions, and then when the time comes, they pounce and can take down prey 3 or 4 times their size. Again, these are little buddies.
So that's still only like a 3-inch long.
Yeah, I guess
creature.
so. They're an average of 0.15 inches, you know what I'm saying? So it's a little bitty insect here. They live about 1 year. They live off of flies, moths, winged ants, and grasshoppers mostly. They live in the savannas, the grasslands, deserts, and scrub forests. You don't want a scrub forest.
No, you want to.
They can't pay your bills.
Yeah, unbelievable.
They're not on the conservation status list, so we're good with these. You know, I'm not saying step on them. They're tiny and beautiful, but we're good on them so far. They can leap over 20 times their body size, can definitely dunk in spider ball.
That's huge.
Yeah.
They're always first pick. Also with that peacock thing they got on their ass, I bet their defense is locked down.
Yeah, you come up to that thing and it's
Nah, it's like Bismack.
you're not getting to the hole, man.
No.
No.
They also.
I'm just going to go ahead and credit Mutombo first. But
Yeah,
yes,
Mutombo,
also.
thank you.
The
Sorry.
OG
That was a little
Mutombo.
before my time,
Respect the
little
OG
before my time.
Mutombo. Mutombo's even before my time, technically.
Okay, fair.
I think he classifies before everybody's time. Mutombo is like one of those trees in Lord of the Rings. He's been here since long before we were here. He'll be here long after we were gone.
I'm watching this jumping spider dance mate thing he's got going on right now too.
Dude, they hit it.
Bro, he looks kind of like, you know how when you're at the airport and they have the guys that wave the batons? That's what he's kind of got going.
It's like,
except
hey,
he's just like, hey, come
hey,
give me
somebody
attention.
come over here and give me sex.
Yeah, it's kind of
What
crazy.
the hell is it? Hey, I'm horny. That's what
What
they
if-
do.
I-
That's their
I-
whole life.
I really just wish humans had a mating ritual like that and it was just that easy. Like if you could just like walk up and like give a, well, I guess you kind of can.
This is
You just, it's like in Andy Samberg in Palm Springs. You
Yeah,
just,
true
that's
enough.
mating ritual. You walk up, give a little shaky shake, you're good to go.
Listen to this from Mental Floss. Female peacock spiders are the tiny belchers, or the Tina Belchers, excuse me. I don't even know that reference, of the animal kingdom. To impress them, you need 2 things: a terrific butt and a talent for shaking it. Tight.
Who's Tina Belcher?
I don't know. But they do all these fancy dances to attract each other or whatever, and there's a lot of leg waving and booty shaking, apparently, according to Mental Floss.
Oh, Tina Belcher is the girl from Bob's Burgers that shakes her butt.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It also says, as if that wasn't enough, a male also periodically pauses his dance to drum on the ground and occasionally on the female's head.
I've never tried that one.
Yeah, I don't know if they like that.
Oh, they don't like that.
They don't have ears like we do, and instead hear through organs on their legs, and the drum beat's vibrations travel across the ground and up the legs of the female, which is apparently super hot, according to Mental Floss. I kind of get it now.
They're just feeling the vibration. It's like that scene in
This is why I
Talladega
want
Nights.
subwoofers in my car again, dude.
It's like that scene in Talladega Nights where the lady is like feeling the glass and she's like, the vibration!
Yes.
Oh!
Yeah,
Same
this is
thing?
why I want 412s in my frunk and trunk, so that I can
12s
make the female happy.
12s in the frunk has to be a line on the next RBP rap album.
Because my ass is much less colorful than this one's.
Yeah, that's very true.
12s in the frunk is the name of the album.
Mine won't be for long once the mugshot gets on there.
Ha ha. Anyway, it says male spiders aren't just dancing for sex, they're dancing for their lives. Courtship is risky business for the males since female peacock spiders will not hesitate to eat their suitors. So if you dance, it's the same concept as like Rick and Morty's "Show me what you got." Like if you do not dance well enough or sing well enough or whatever,
You
your
just
planet's
die.
gone.
It's over.
But in this case, it's just like, imagine if you went to a bar and you went up to a girl and you were like, "Sup," and if she didn't like you,
She ate
the
you.
result was her literally eating you. We would take way less chances at bars.
And-
I'm saying that, ladies.
There would be a lot less guys at bars. I'll just put that out there.
Yeah, even
guys get
less than
rejected
now.
A lot.
Uh.
And way less free drinks being bought.
Anyway, beautiful babies too. These peacock spiders, great
Really
animal
great
of the week.
family, honestly. Besides the mother eating the husband type of thing, other than that, like if
Good
we could
shit.
just get over that, it seems like they have a really nice organic family unit going
Absolutely, couldn't agree
on.
more,
Shouts
Chris.
to the peacock spider.
Couldn't agree more. Next segment. Sports are stupid, and so are we. I want to talk about a few things in the sports world today. First of all, the state of the NBA. The NBA season, the 2021 NBA season has begun. The Houston Rockets' first game, canceled.
Nice.
You know why?
Why?
We had too many players on COVID protocol.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
We all know where James Harden has been, off in the strip clubs in Las Vegas and Atlanta, yada, yada. Well, they played their first game. They went into double overtime. He scored 40 points and had like 20 assists and was unbelievable. He had 10 assists in the first quarter. Nothing about him looked out of shape. He played like 40 minutes. We lost by 2. We were down 6 men, including DeMarcus Cousins, John Wall, and multiple other important guys due to COVID protocol. And it turns out the Rockets have a squad. This is stupid for so many reasons, one of which is that now I care again. Also, over Christmas, from, I'll just say my niece, I received a James Harden Rockets jersey, which when I was opening was very awkward. I will say this first game of theirs made me happy to own the jersey again, and I'm all the fuck in.
Brought you some pride.
I am the stupidest man alive.
This
is like the toxic relationship your dumbass best friend had in high school,
and keeps
where
going
his
back
girlfriend
to.
kept cheating on him, just kept making out with other guys, got caught giving a blowjob in the bathroom. He can't stop going back. Everybody's like, "God, you cuck idiot, what are you doing?" That's me with the Rockets. I can't stop. It's a toxic relationship. The ups and downs and the fights and the yelling and the screaming and but we have James Harden, who I still think is the best basketball player in the league. And we have Christian Wood, who is a dude I didn't know existed 6 months ago, who like might be an all-star. He's tall. We have a tall guy. We have multiple tall guys. The Rockets are awesome again. Again, I am stupid. And I am sorry. But COVID in the NBA is going to be something to watch. They decided to go no bubble. No bubble. Remember the bubble?
They just traveling
There was
around.
talk of doing the bubble this year again. They were going to do the bubble, no bubble. So there's just a lot of strict protocol on what these guys can and can't do. They're doing a ton of trace testing. They're not screwing around with it. If you like a team can't field 9 guys, they're done. They cannot play that day. We couldn't play our first game of the season. Maybe a long one for the NBA. We don't know yet. We're going to see what happens, though. Again, 6 players unavailable for the first game against Portland for the Rockets, but Jim Chungus, James Harden was available. Still couldn't get it done, but 6 guys short. Great start. Rockets look good. I am happy. I do not want him traded. I don't think he will be traded at this point. The NBA taking a risk with no bubble. We'll see what happens. Chris, this is the first time you've watched all 3 of the first 3 Charlotte Hornets regular season basketball games.
In my entire life, yes.
You've been sucked in.
I didn't watch all 3 of them in their entirety, but I watched at least a full quarter of all 3 of the first 3 Hornets basketball games again for the first time in my entire life.
It's a
I
big moment for
finally
you.
feel that I have some excitement and something to cheer for. Gordon Hayward looks better than I thought he would. He's back from injury quicker than I thought he would. LaMelo Ball's vision has been incredible. Really stoked and happy to have him on the team.
You got yourself a ball guy.
We do. And it's nice to have LeVar commenting on everything that we're doing. It's just very entertaining. He's team content all the way. Love having LeVar back in the main screen. We need to get him on the pod.
The Charlotte Hornets are in the best place they've been as a franchise since I've started paying attention to them.
Yes, maybe ever since we had Del Curry on
You got to
the
remember,
squad
this
in,
was
the
the
90s.
Bobcats.
The Bobcats,
This was a
bro.
disastrous
I
franchise.
grew up with the Bobcats
They were
as our team.
Always awful. Michael never had a clue what he was doing managing them. And they're finally in a place where they've got guys that are worth watching, young
And
talent,
young.
offensive firepower. They're making cool plays, dope highlights. The Charlotte Hornets are fun again.
Rozier literally posterized KD last night in a disgusting dunk, and which
With an
the
incredible
commentator
assist that I
backed
believe
it up.
was from LaMelo.
Huh?
If I'm not mistaken,
The assist was a full court pass from LaMelo.
And it was a very harsh poster on KD's face.
Yes, which
Yeah.
was very entertaining to watch, and
He-
I enjoyed
he-
that. I enjoyed every second of that.
He took it. It's good. It's good news for us, the idiots.
But yeah,
watching
I
the
mean,
sports
at least we have something to cheer for in the basketball front, at least in some capacity.
The NFL playoffs, rather, are rapidly approaching. The Jacksonville Jaguars, have clinched the #1 pick and are looking forward to destroying Trevor Lawrence's potential. Hey, remember Blake Bortles? I really hope he's out there thriving. I really liked him. Terrible NFL quarterback, though. And Jacksonville, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys wreck another one with Trevor Lawrence.
Who is their quarterback right now? in
Nobody
Jacksonville?
cares.
Okay.
Nobody cares. The Texans suck.
Yeah.
J.J. Watt, very upset.
Yeah.
Nobody else cares. Just J.J.
That
Sad
was
for
a
him.
heartbreaker, honestly.
Panthers suck, too.
Hey, we won just to ruin our draft stock yesterday. That was great.
That's good. You
And we
guys are
beat our
doing like the Jets. Just
Yeah, we beat our former coach that's currently going through cancer, so that was really fun. Really
also
love doing
just
that.
a great
Just
message.
a wholehearted, really warm feeling coming out of that game.
Yeah.
Love that.
The
Love every second of it.
14-1 Chiefs have won 10 straight games and will receive the AFC's only first-round playoff bye and will play their divisional round game at Arrowhead. And with this week's win, unabashed douchebag Travis Kelce became the first tight end to have 2 100-catch seasons ever. 7 passes, giving him 105 on the year. He also set the single-season yardage record for a tight end with 98 yards, giving him 1,467. The San Francisco Giants, George Kittle, San Francisco 49ers, rather, held the previous record with 1,377 yards set in 2018. I like Travis Kelce as a football player. I don't like him off the field.
What's he do off the field that you don't
He's just
like?
kind of a douche.
Is he?
Not kind of. He's a huge douchebag.
Oh, sure.
And that's okay. But, that's his whatever. You got to do what you got to do to
I kind of got those
get these
vibes
results.
when he was wearing the ski goggles the entire time they were celebrating the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Even when he was just talking on stage when there's no risk of a champagne shower coming at any second, but
See,
he's still wearing the ski goggles.
I love that move and hate it at the same time, which means it's something I would do and that I'm a douchebag. But Kelce is now one of the best tight ends to ever do this and is a huge piece of that Chiefs and Mahomes attack that continues to have so much success. The NFL has been a really, really weird mess to watch this season. It's been fun,
bizarre.
but I don't know what the hell is happening. Insane scores and weird upsets that I would not have expected. The Jets backpedaling away from the first pick, very strange.
Winning 2 straight, of course, against the Browns, too.
Huge mistake.
So typical Browns.
Let's check in on college sports. At Josh Gerben on Twitter reported this morning that the NCAA has filed a trademark for Mask Madness.
Saw this one.
The filing, made on December 23rd, indicates the NCAA will sell Mask Madness branded face masks, start a Mask Madness public awareness campaign to promote the benefits of wearing a mask. What is this? They were like, all right, what's the best thing about college hoops? March Madness. March Madness doesn't have the hype that it normally does as a result of pandemic. What can we do? What if we made Mask Madness? The NCAA continues to
Wouldn't it be so shitty if you were a senior that didn't get to play in your very last March Madness tournament, and then a year later, and you didn't make a single dime all of your college career, and then a year later, the organization that was in charge of canceling your March Madness tournament decided to put out a what is this?
Mask Madness?
Yeah, Mask Madness. What trademark to be able to make
They're gonna
money
sell masks,
off
Chris.
of the pandemic that canceled your final March Madness after you haven't made a dime
Chris,
all of college.
They
Love
make
that.
they make
Love
the children
that.
go out and risk their families' lives
Yeah.
in the name of sport and money for the
Yeah,
school.
yeah.
But Chris, they're gonna have Mask Madness.
Amen. Can't wait for that.
They are
God
going to have
bless.
Mask Madness. And that's sports. When it comes to sports betting, you know where we throw down MyBookie.ag with the code RBP. RBP360 is brought to you by MyBookie. Every sports fan knows that it's not about how you start the season, it's about how you finish. And at MyBookie, 2020 finishes strong with NFL, college football, and the return of NBA action. Sign up today. You'll get a halfway deposit match up to $1,000, which means if you throw in $1,000, $500 on top of that they're going to throw into your account. While you're at it, ring in the holidays with 6 days of giveaways. You heard it here first. Up through, 2 days ago. Never mind, that's over. MyBookie ran a bunch of different specials through December 26th, though. Hooking players up with free bets, casino chips, blackjack, all kinds of shit. Get on MyBookie.ag today. It's simple. Sign up, make your first deposit, enter the promo code RBP to claim your first 50% deposit bonus. Start taking advantage of the holiday freebies. They're going to have a bunch of fun stuff coming up for New Year's. Head over to MyBookie to discover this year's batch of fun on-site promotions and win big with 6 days of giveaways. Code RBP on sign-up gets you that 50% deposit bonus. Stipulations apply. This holiday season, bet with the best. Bet with MyBookie.ag and use the code RBP. That will do it for today's show. But before you head out to take on the world, it's time for some very important announcements. First and foremost, you've been saddled with 3 legal obligations as a result of having listened to this entire podcast, the first of which is you must rate and review. Then you can check that box, move on to number 2, which is to share the show with one person, a friend, a family member, a coworker, a neighbor. It could be any one individual that you think might like the Ross Bolen Podcast. Share the show with them, then move on to number 3. Use our sponsor code. Today it's MyBookie.ag, code RBP. We have one sponsor today. That's your legal ob. Your third one. Support our sponsors who support us and keep us in business. MyBookie.ag, code RBP. If you're a sports bettor, that's where you do it. If you listen to this show, use that code. Check all those 3 boxes. I can call off the dogs. We'll all live long and prosper. I don't have to see you in court. We all win. Follow us on Instagram at the Ross Bolen Podcast, at the Ross Bolen Podcast on Instagram. On Twitter, at Ross Bolen Pod. Facebook.com/Ross Bolen Podcast. You can follow me, Ross Bolen, on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at WRBOLEN, at WRBolen. Coles and I are also live a few times a week on Twitch.tv/Boss Rollin. That's Ross Bolen with the B and the R reversed. Tuesday, Thursday, 7 p.m. Central this week. Twitch.tv/Boss Rollin. Tomorrow night, Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central. The whole stream, we're going to be giving away $500 in the form of, $50 a piece?
$50 a pop, baby.
For trivia question answers. Trivia over all manner of different things. Coles and I are going to throw out questions. First person to answer in the chat, boom, $50 Cash App right to your fucking account. Giving away $500. That's one of the things we're doing for our stream. Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. Central, December 29th of 2020. Twitch.tv/Boss Rollin. Christopher, where can everybody follow you on social media?
You can find me on Twitter at Q0ULS. You can find me on Instagram at ChrisSC99. And you can find me on Snapchat at Chris_Coulson. That's COULSON.
Make sure you also check out Bolen Media's television and film podcast, Oysters, Clams, and Cockles, available wherever you listen to RBP. If you love TV and movies, you will love OCC. That will do it for RBP 360, produced by Mike Moody Garcia of Permanent Record Studios in Austin, Texas. Coles and I will be back on Wednesday with RBP 361. The final episode of 2020. The final episode of 2020. God, I cannot wait. Make sure you call 888-WR-BOLEN. Let Coles and I in on how the year the comeback went for you. We're closing it up. Final episode of 2020 is going to be all about opening up the show for as many people as possible going into 2021, as y'all know. So get those hotline calls in. 888-WR-BOLEN is our number. You get 2 minutes. Be clear, succinct. Tell us how the show has impacted you, how the year the comeback went, whatever you feel like sharing. And that will be that. Of course, then everyone on patreon.com/Ross Bolen Podcast will receive our first episode of 2021 dropping on Friday as well. So patreon.com/Ross Bolen Podcast for our first ad-free and our first episode period of 2021 dropping this Friday. Start 2021 with an exclusive ad-free episode of RBP for members of the RBP gang pledging their monthly support to keep the podcast alive, showing, and growing. Minimum of just $5 monthly on patreon.com/Ross Bolen Podcast. patreon.com/Ross Bolen Podcast. Come through, support the show, get more RBP every Friday. No ads, more madness. You are not alone. Podmen get paid. Respect Mr. Park, strength and honor. Gang, gang, gang. Christopher.
Peace be with you.
And also with you.